Welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Saturday, February 13th. We're going to be going over some NBA DFS picks real quick on both FanDuel and Draft Kings. Before we get started, though, we're going to talk about yesterday's. So on the Draft Kings side, we went Peyton Pritchard, $3,800. We were looking for 19, 20 points out of him. He played the minutes. He had like 28, 29 minutes in this game. Just didn't produce at all. 6.75 points, so that was definitely a miss. Garrison Matthews, $3,000 flat minimum over there. We were looking for 15 points. We'd be happy with anything over 20. He got us 21.25. And he probably could have had more if he would have done anything at all in the first half, but at least he did something in the second half. So he was definitely a hit. Lou Dort, $4,900. This was a guy I kind of pivoted off of in most of my lineups later on in the day as some other value opened up. But, you're looking for about 24, 25 points out of him. He got 22.25, it looks like. So he was a miss, but it probably not a miss that killed you. And if you were able to pivot off it like I did, it should have been all right for you. And then we had Jeremy Grant once again. We were looking for that 38, 40 points out of him. 2 days in a row of disappointment. 28.75 points, so he's definitely a miss. Sadiq Bey went off for about 50 points, or 50 fantasy points, that is. So it definitely hurt him, definitely hurt the next guy, Isaiah Stewart. He got 2 fouls early on in this game, about 3 minutes into the game. He got 16 points, so he got pretty much what we needed to get out of him, but you were looking for 20 points or more. So he was a hit, but in terms of what we were looking for, we wanted to get a little bit more out of him. On the FanDuel side, Russell Westbrook, $8,700. He got 46.8 fantasy points. We were looking for about 44 or so out of him. Hopefully closer to 50. Didn't quite get there. Ended up being a little bit of a blowout, hurting him, but still was a pretty good hit. Terrence Ross, $4,900. Looking for 25 fantasy points out of him. Got to 32. That was definitely a hit. Definitely helped that, Evan Fournier, Cole Anthony were out once again. Then Chris Middleton, looking for about 40 out of him at that $8,000 price tag. He had a very, very disappointing day. The Bucks just didn't show up early on in this game. Kind of got blown out for a while. It was a little bit closer towards the end of the game, but definitely hurt Middleton. Isaiah Stewart, $3,600. We were looking for 18 to 20 fantasy points at least out of him. Got 16.7 over on the FanDuel side, so he was a mess there. Al Horford, we were looking for 31 or more out of him. He got 28. So probably not a guy that killed you, but definitely could have been better there. So kind of a hit or miss day overall. So we're going to get into the injuries for today real quick. For the Pacers, same injuries as normal. For Atlanta, we have Goodwin, Reddish, and Snell all listed now too. Looks like Goodwin and Reddish will play. Snell might miss. No major impacts here. The only impact is if Cam Reddish doesn't start. Maybe you see like a Gallinari in the starting lineup. If he gets in there, definitely could be a value on both sites. Then for Houston, we're looking at John Wall. We're looking at P.J. Tucker. I believe John Wall is probable, so he's most likely to play. P.J. Tucker's questionable, game time decision. We'll see if he plays or not. So keep an eye out for that. If he doesn't play, you could see Daniel House in the starting lineup, Sterling Brown, or maybe even David Nwaba. Even if they don't start, all three of those guys probably get major bumps up if P.J. Tucker doesn't play. For the Knicks, the biggest news is Mitchell Robinson's out now. He fractured his hand, so he's going to be out for about a month or so. So Nerlens Noel definitely in play today. Probably one of the best value plays out there. A lot of people are hyping up the Taj Gibson just because he's like the flat minimum on both sites, but I wouldn't trust Taj Gibson unless I really had to. But you could probably even play Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson in the same lineup. You're paying about $6,900, I think, on DraftKings and about $7,500 on FanDuel, but then you're kind of eating both your power forward spots on FanDuel, so it's not as nice to do it over there, at least. We get Kevin Durant back. DeAndre Jordan's out for this one, so Jeff Green should get a little extra run at the center position. You might even see a little bit of Noah Vonleh at that center position, maybe Pell as well, but they're just kind of dart throws. They're cheap enough if you want to go out and do it. Golden State's the same injury-wise. Then for the Heat, pretty much the same as we had the last game. Avery Bradley, Goran Dragic. And then on Utah's side, we do have Georges Niang drawing a game-time decision, but he's not somebody we were looking at anyways, so not too many major concerns over there. Mike Conley's still out once again. We're going to get over to DraftKings, talk about our picks over there first. So we got Steph Curry, $10,100. You're looking for 50 fantasy points. That's about what he's been averaging so far this year. And this dude's been on fire lately. Goes against Brooklyn, who's pretty much the worst defense in the league. This game's going to end up in a shootout. more likely than not. So Steph's going to have to step up if the Warriors have a chance in this game. Then we got Eric Gordon next up, $5,800, looking for 29, 30 fantasy points. I think he can get you over that. You have no Victor Oladipo in this game. He's been playing pretty well as of late, too, as well. So definitely a guy to consider there. Sterling Brown, $3,700, looking for about 18, 19 fantasy points if he gets you over 20. Definitely going to be a big boost there. Like I already said, no Victor Oladipo. PJ Tucker misses. He should see a little bit bump in minutes, but he's been averaging about 26 minutes per game anyway, so pretty solid there. Pretty decent play under $4,000. Royce O'Neal, $4,400. The best thing you can say about him is he gets about 35 minutes a game. You're looking for 22 fantasy points out of him. That's about what he's averaging. If you get 25, if it's one of those rare games that gets you a little bit over that as well, definitely a value there. And then, last but not least, Nerlens Noel, like we talked about already, probably the best value play of the day, $3,900. You're really just looking for 20 fantasy points out of him. I think he probably gets you closer to 25, 26, maybe upwards of even more. He's pretty good in terms of fantasy points per minute. I think he's probably going to play around 26 minutes in this game, 28 maybe. You'll probably see Taj Gibson in there for about 12 to 16 minutes. And then there's probably going to be a couple minutes in there where Julius Randle slides over to center as well, especially against the smaller team in the Houston Rockets. But with that being said, these are my DraftKings picks for today. If you go with these 5 guys, you have $22,100 left over. Definitely some room to pay up for like 2 pretty good players. There's a lot of good players on this slate, and then just kind of try to find a value elsewhere from there. But definitely a good start, a good base. And once again, as always, make sure you're listening to that news. I will be commenting down below some of the news as it does come out, as well as the starting lineups. Then we move over to the FanDuel side. And first off, I got Kyrie Irving. Point guard on FanDuel, you pretty much kind of have to pay up today. There's not really good pay down options at all. The middle range is okay. You got a Kendrick Nunn in there if you really want to go that route. But I think Kyrie Irving, pace up spot. I think this game's going to be a shoot up. You're looking for about 50 fantasy points out of him. I don't have a problem rostering any of these guys from the Nets between Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant. You got the revenge game narrative with Kevin Durant. And he's kind of pissed off because this is his first game back after having to miss because of the health and safety protocols. So all 3 of those guys are decent options today. Donovan Mitchell, $8,300. You're looking for about 42 fantasy points out of him. Wasn't the greatest last night. Hopefully he kind of picks it up against Miami tonight. In terms of defense, they're a little bit worse than probably the Bucks are, so definitely could help him out in that regard. Joe Ingles, he was on fire last night. I think he had 6 made threes at one point. $4,900. His price didn't go up at all. You're looking for 25 points. I think he gets there more times than not. Nerlens Noel, I don't like putting guys on both sides, but this is the best value there is all day. $4,000, looking for 20 fantasy points out of him. You see there he averages about 18 already without starting. Now he's starting, he's getting more minutes. It's definitely going to get you around 25 or more fantasy points in this one. Last but not least, we got DeMarcus Cousins. He could take advantage of that matchup against Nerlens Noel as well. I think he gets the minutes. He gets a little extra usage without Victor Oladipo in this game. And the centers on FanDuel today are just, not pretty. And you got a lot of these guys that are starting at center, but they're actually power forwards on FanDuel as well, kind of like the Nerlens Noel, Draymond Green types. So you don't have as many options out there. I mean, you could pay all the way down to somebody like Eric Paschall, but I don't know if I want to go that way. You got Kelly Olynyk there too. DeAndre Jordan's out today, so you got Jeff Green there, but he counts as power forward. So you're really just stuck with DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gobert, Clint Capella, and Miles Turner. Pretty much pick your poison at that point. And in this case, I'm taking DeMarcus Cousins because he's the cheapest of the 4. And he has pretty good upside as well when he hits his upside. But with that being said, these are my 5 guys for FanDuel for today. If you go with these 5, you got $26,800 left over, about $6,700 per player. Kind of mix and match throughout there. Like I said, you want to have a little bit of exposure to some of those different Nets players. I think you want to have a little bit of exposure to the Warriors players, your Jazz players, Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gobert, and Joe Ingles as well. Maybe a little bit of Royce O'Neal on FanDuel too, but he's a little bit better priced on DraftKings. But with that being said, these are my DFS picks for today, Saturday. I know it's a little bit later in the day, a little bit closer to lock time, but hopefully you guys get a chance to watch this video. I'll let you know if anything changes throughout the day down in the comments as it comes out. But with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. It really helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, and that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, helping you with fantasy football, covering all the football news. As we move forward into baseball season, we're covering some fantasy baseball and baseball news as well. But with that being said, if you are new or current subscribers yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It will let you know every single time I post up a new video. And with that being said, tomorrow we'll have another NBA DFS video coming out. But with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you out, and hopefully you'll all do very well in DFS tonight. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.